The news, good evening. The second term has started well today for schools on the islands after almost 2 months holidays due to the COVID-19 pandemic. All the institutions have made sure that their staff and students came back to a safe and clean environment. Students' temperatures were tested before registration, and additional hand washing stations have been installed in some schools. In some classrooms, signs have also been placed to show students the distance they must keep from each other.
The procedures for today, I think it went fairly well. We had 3 stations, one for creche P1, P2, and a second station for P3 up to P6, and then secondary another one. Now what we think we'll do tomorrow, since we've seen that secondary, instead of arriving a little bit late, let's say we wanted them to start screening at 8, but they came before 8. So I think we will have to open station 3 for secondary earlier for tomorrow. And once they've been screened, then they were directed to the toilet for them to wash their hands. And after that, they sat on the bench and wait for the teachers to arrive before they enter the class. So I had good cooperation from all the teachers. They came quite early, 6:30, before 7, to give a helping hand, because before we left on Friday, we had allocated different teachers, different stations, and they had different roles as well.
Primary and secondary school children on Mahetu have returned to their classrooms after 7 weeks away from school. It led to long queues this morning and late starting lessons as youngsters went through mandatory health screening. Meanwhile, classrooms have been rearranged to spread out pupils to maintain social distancing.
Back to school for children at Asboilo Secondary this morning, ending an unscheduled 7-week hiatus. There were slow-moving queues outside, and once inside, social distancing continued in lines to 3 screening stations. But not even the rain could dampen spirits.
Well, I've seen them chatting. It seems they have a lot to tell, and for them it's normal. But for us, it's a different normal.
Each of the school's 615 pupils had their hands sanitised, and temperatures were taken by staff and nurses before they were quizzed about their health and the details recorded.
The screening team's been hard at work here since 6:45 this morning. And time now is just after 9 o'clock, and they've still got all these pupils to do, and this will be the procedure every morning.
It's mainly because we have a shortage of thermometers. Perhaps if we could get 2 more thermometers, we can do the screening per level rather than having 2 groups of students. We'll have 5 groups.
Next door, primary school pupils also faced a wait to get to lessons, plus the same rigorous checks and alcohol hand rub.
We had at one moment to jump to plan B because it was raining, so one station was not used. But we managed. We had mostly everybody helping out, even though they were not on the screening team.
Overcrowding caused by combining classes because of an earlier teacher shortage posed problems for social distancing and has necessitated the school reopening facilities. The lesson today was hygiene. In COVID-era school days few children will forget.
Members from the private sector have expressed their views in regards to the proposed amendment bill to the current employment law, which is still before the National Assembly. The proposed amendment states that employers are not allowed to do any redundancies, layoffs and cutting off of salaries before June the 30th. Last week, the National Assembly proposed that there are proper consultations with affected parties so as not to abuse the rights of either employers or employees before any further discussions on the amendment. The amendment bill is expected to be discussed once more in the National Assembly tomorrow. And the National Assembly will tomorrow continue the debate on the Employment Amendment Bill 2020. There will also be a private notice question for the Minister responsible for Tourism, Port and Marine, Didier Dogley, from the Leader of the Opposition in the National Assembly, Wavell Ramkalawan, who will be asking questions about Air Seychelles. There will also be 2 motions by the Member of the Assembly for the Les Mamelles district, Mr. Bernard Georges. As of today, micro, small and medium enterprises with an annual turnover of up to 25 million rupees, which have been facing revenue constraints due to COVID-19, can collect application forms under the private sector relief schemes from their respective banks. Last week, the Central Bank of Seychelles announced that they have funded a credit line facility of 500 million rupees to assist small, micro and medium enterprises. The facility is available in all the commercial banks, credit union and the Development Bank of Seychelles. There is an interest rate of 1.5% on the loan and a moratorium period of 6 months. The maximum repayment period is 3 years. Eligible businesses, including self-employed individuals falling into the MSME category, can contact their respective banks to obtain more information, application details, including the required documents. The Seychelles Meteorological Authority says that with the southeast monsoon already set in, strong southeasterly winds are expected over Seychelles over the next 3 days. The Met Office has in a press communiqué warned that over Mahé and the inner islands, winds will be in excess of 70 to 75 kilometers an hour, while islands in the south, such as Farquhar and the Amirante, will be affected by winds in excess of 80 kilometers an hour. Mariners and the public in general are being advised to take extra precautions. And with this, we end this news summary. Thank you for watching and have a pleasant evening.